For generations, the rule was simple. The harder you worked, whether swinging a hammer or crunching numbers, the more you earned. Effort equaled compensation, but that equation has been completely crushed. The reality today is that tasks relying on simple human effort are actively being wiped out of the economy. Basic execution no longer commands a premium. That sounds terrifying, but this disruption is actually a massive wealth-building opportunity. Technology has a long history of turning specialized skills into cheap, abundant commodities, and those who spot the pattern early always win. To protect your wealth today, you need to look at exactly how artificial intelligence evolved from a basic digital tool into a direct replacement for human cognition. Before 2011, interacting with a computer meant you had to speak its language. You needed to write code, click through deep menus, or fill out rigid forms just to get a machine to execute a simple command. That friction dropped drastically in 2011 when Apple introduced Siri on the iPhone 4S. For the first time on a massive scale, a machine could listen to natural human speech, figure out the intent, and execute tasks. But that early software had a hard ceiling. It possessed no actual understanding or context outside a very small window. It functioned like a well-organized file cabinet of automated, pre-programmed responses. Even with those limits, this initial wave proved that people desperately wanted conversational technology. It created a massive gap between what consumers wanted and what systems could deliver, a gap that took the tech industry 10 full years to close. The solution finally arrived in 2022, when Sam Altman and OpenAI released ChatGPT. Software stopped relying on predefined rules. Instead, these large language models analyzed massive quantities of data to predict sequences of words, generating open-ended, human-sounding dialogue. The economic shockwave hit immediately. Tasks like writing basic code and handling customer support transitioned overnight, turning hours of human effort into minutes of light oversight. When a technology successfully replicates execution-level tasks, the market value of that labor drops to zero. Skills that used to guarantee a paycheck are turned into cheap, instantly available commodities. Yet, despite how intelligent these large language models sound, they harbor a severe technical flaw. Because they are optimized to predict the most likely next word, they struggle with multi-step logic. They can imitate reasoning, but they often fail at actual complex problem-solving. Take the drying towel riddle. If 3 wet towels take 3 hours to dry on a clothesline, how long would 9 towels take? AI models confidently answered 9 hours, failing to recognize that all towels dry simultaneously. That simple mistake exposes a critical distinction in modern computing. Knowing a statistically likely answer is very different from having the capacity to logically evaluate and find a correct answer. Developers are fixing this bottleneck right now, merging large language models with large reasoning models. Instead of just generating fluent speech, these new systems break problems down into specific steps, evaluate alternatives, and follow a strict chain of logic before presenting a conclusion. This current wave is actively commoditizing advanced cognitive analysis. As the software gains the ability to reason, the number of safe havens for traditional human workers is shrinking rapidly. This brings us to the ultimate economic rule of the AI age. The market absolutely does not pay for your effort. It strictly pays for scarce outcomes. Because software can retrieve information, organize data, and perform basic analysis instantly and cheaply, those skills are now infinitely abundant. Trying to compete on basic execution is a guaranteed race to the bottom. The immediate survival strategy is adaptation. Professionals must aggressively pivot away from routine tasks and lean into areas that remain scarce. That means focusing your career on high-level strategy, human judgment, relationship management, and making complex decisions under uncertainty. And this pivot has to happen today. Reasoning models are merely a stepping stone toward artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a system capable of performing intellectual tasks at or above the level of top human performers across multiple fields. The timeline for AGI is accelerating faster than most people realize. The transition will eliminate old categories of work while creating entirely new ones. Subscribe to the channel to learn how you can position yourself, adapt your skills, and survive the next era of automation.